Honey, you won't believe what I read.
I'm on the phone. I was just on the phone with Mike's wife. He's in the hospital, and the doctor thinks it's from that super health powder he bought on the internet. The one he's been bragging about, the one that makes him feel 20 years younger.
That's what I wanted to tell you. I just read in the FDA medical announcements that the drug has been taken off the market because it has undisclosed steroids in the ingredients and some other things that speed up a person's heart rate.
In this segment, we're going to be talking about the growing trend of healthcare fraud in this nation. Rita, how prevalent is healthcare fraud actually?
Just as in our dramatization, it's true, every minute of every day, someone is getting scammed by fraudulent healthcare ads, either on the internet, on TV, or even in person.
Let's start with, how would you define a health scam as it pertains to drugs?
It's a way to deceive someone about healthcare products. You convince a person to buy something that is either useless or worse, harmful to your well-being. It's really a scam or a way to defraud people by using clever marketing techniques. In other words, in the actual words of the FDA, these ads make claims that their products are a means to prevent, treat, or cure a disease or condition. But they aren't proven safe or effective for the uses that they're touted for.
Where would we find these ads?
You can find them almost anywhere. You can find them in magazines, in the newspaper, billboards, comic books even, any kind of printed material. You can also find them on TV in those late night infomercials or in those paid programming announcements. You can find them in stores, and I'm not just talking about health food stores, but you can find them almost in any store. But the part that we're really talking about today is the frauds that you see on the internet. They come up in pop-up ads as you're reading something, or you go to a website and you find this little advertisement on the side that says something really fantastic to help you with some ailment that you have. These are where some of the places that you can find them. And especially today in social media, you'll find them and they look just like any other post on Facebook or Twitter.
Rita, let's talk about what constitutes a scam, or if a healthcare ad is fraudulent. We're going to help you identify what might constitute a health scam. Some characteristics of these ads are true, whether you see them on an infomercial or the internet.
On news and internet sites, it's usually identified as some type of advertisement. It'll actually say an advertisement, or it comes up as a pop-up as you're reading something on the internet. But on sites like Facebook, it can come up as a post, just like any other. And it lures you with a slick come on, so you'll click on the link to an even slicker video or a slicker website.
And these ads use very enticing marketing techniques and claim things like quick and easy cure to conditions like weight loss, arthritis, joint pain, bigger muscles without exercise, elimination of sexual dysfunction, stopping memory loss, aches, pains, age-related issues, hair loss, diabetes, as well as the big guns like cancer, HIV, heart disease, and Alzheimer's.
They lure you in late night infomercials when you're watching TV. Ads all over the internet, on every commercial site, as well as I said, links on Twitter, Facebook, iGoogle, etc. They even come in email with those spam ads about Viagra or some quick and natural 100% money-back guarantee. You can even get these scams from fellow employees, friends, or even family members who are convinced that they should sell products to unsuspecting people. They usually have phrases like wonder drugs, miracle cure, ancient oriental remedy, proven safe and effective, not through scientific government-approved medical trials, but through testimonials or fake trials.
It is especially bad if you have a life-threatening illness, because you want to believe and you want to have hope.
Yes, those folks are the ones that really suffer the most from these scams.
But Rita, playing devil's advocate, what do you really have to lose if you just want to try this?
Well, the first thing you can lose is money. Money on these worthless drugs, supplements, testing kits, gadgets of all types, devices, treatments. You can also cost you your health and even your life, because it can make you sicker. Any of these things can make you sicker if the ingredients are counterindicated for your condition. It can even cause death, because most diseases have a window of opportunity or a window of time where treatment can help and cure or prolong your life. If you waste time with these bogus drugs, bogus supplements, then you don't get that early diagnosis or proper treatment.
So how do we recognize these scams?
Well, like I said, there were these buzzwords like quick fix, scientific breakthrough, cure-all, and especially that money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied. No reputable company is going to give you that.
Another sure way to recognize this would probably be a product that claims to cure multiple ailments that are in no way related to each other, or could possibly be cured by one product. Then there's those testimonials you see on TV or videos on the internet where they get some guy to put on a white lab coat and play doctor, or get some guy with a PhD from some online college and claim all the cures and studies prove beyond a doubt. But when you check it out on the FDA website, it doesn't even exist.
Many drugs touted on the internet are from other countries, and they could be tainted with other chemicals and drugs that are not even listed in the ingredients.
So what should we do, Rita?
Well, the first thing I would suggest you do is consult your healthcare professional before taking any of these ingredients and drugs and powders and whatever, especially if you are currently on prescription medication, because they can be very counterindicated or contraindicated with the prescriptions you're now taking.
And remember, never give your Medicare number to anyone who wants to give you a free trial simply for giving up that number. Never give any personal information, period. In other words, be smart, be aware, be careful.
Yes, we have tried to summarize much of the materials that you can find on the FDA website. And if you look at our screen right now, we'll give you the link to the FDA website so that you can get further information. Today on our show, we have our special guest, Jane Connors, who is one of the co-founders of the Graphics Special Interest Group for the Computer Club. Hi, Jane. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Rita.
Can you tell us a little bit about how the Graphics SIG came into being, and what do you actually do at one of these Graphics SIGs?
Well, yes, I can. A group of us were sitting around, I think, having coffee, and we were somewhat complaining that we didn't have a group where we could get together and talk about different graphic applications that were on the computer, and a place that we could learn from each other, share what knowledge we had, and go that way. And someone in the group, who shall remain nameless,
I confess.
suggested that we put together a graphic SIG. And I know the next question.
Yes.
What does SIG mean? Is that the next question?
You bet.
It's special interest group. And so this is a group that has a special interest, and in our case, it's graphics. Now, we really started mostly with Photoshop Elements, but that has expanded through the years. Now there's more technology. Some of us are still very interested in Photoshop Elements, but then there were not tablets, there were not phones that you could edit pictures on, and now there are. So we are expanding.
Okay, so could you tell us a little bit about what would you do if I came to the graphics special interest group? First of all, do I have to be a member of the computer club?
No, you do not have to be a member of the computer club. You can come to 3 interest groups before you join. But if you want to come to a 4th one, then you will have to be a member of the computer club. And you, as a member of the computer club, you can go to any and all of their special interest groups.
And I think they have like 9 of them right now.
I think they do.
Well, okay, so I decide I want to find out what's going on at this graphics special interest group. So, like, what's happening in the next upcoming meetings, or what have you been doing this year?
Well, we've done several things. One month we showed how to edit pictures on your tablet. Right before Christmas, we did a segment on how you can use your computer to decorate and have fun and make gifts for people.
Like, what kind of gifts can you
Well,
make?
I made a little T-shirt for my new little granddaughter, put her picture on it, and then put little kisses all over it, and said, "Grandma visited."
Well, actually, we have a photo of that, which we'll show you in a few minutes.
Okay, I hope it looks good. We did little boxes. We also did, one woman took a hanging and put in her grandmother's handwriting a recipe, and it's hanging now in her kitchen.
Oh, wow, that's
And
lovely.
So many different things. We tried to do different, you can put pictures on candles. We did napkin rings. We did little boxes that you could make.
And that's all in one segment?
Yeah, that was 1 month.
So, like, what are you going to do in the future months?
Well, next month, which is March, we will do a segment on fun fonts, and that will show you some different websites where you would go to and get different fonts. I have a couple real favorites that are really cutesy, and I'm not doing this necessarily, but these little choo-choo train fonts, where each letter is in a car of the choo-choo train. There's a sundae font where each letter is a ice cream sundae, but there's also more standard fonts.
So, wait a minute, do I have to be a graphic artist, really, to be part of this group?
No, but you will need to have some sort of a device, a computer or a laptop, or a tablet or a laptop or something like that.
So, do you actually do some demonstrations, and
Yes.
you can follow along to
We
learn how to
hope
do
that
this?
people will bring their computers or tablets and follow along. Now, not everything is follow-along-able, but many of them are. And we also have a blog that is associated with our SIG. And we will have instructions and hints for different things you can do on that blog. And I know that we can tell you the web address and how to get to it and how to sign up for it. So I'm sure that's on the screen right now.
Yes, it is, actually. And finally, when does the group meet, and how often does it meet?
Meets once a month, October through May. And we meet the second Thursday of the month. And we meet from 3 o'clock to 4:30. And it's in the
Havasupai room, is it?
Havasupai Maricopa room. And it's right next to the computer club.
Now, Jane, before we let you go, I understand that you're also part of the digital scrapbooking group, which is very similar in some ways to the graphic special interest group. How did this digital scrapbooking group form, and how often do you guys get together?
Yes. Well, another one of my interests is scrapbooking. Scrapbooking has been traditional scrapbooking. You take a pretty piece of paper, you take some scissors, you take some glue, you cut your photo out, your developed photo, put it on the paper, put some pretty things on it, tell a little story. Well, that was what we needed to do when digital cameras did not exist. But now they do, and some of us have moved into keeping it digital and then potentially printing it. And you do have to be a member of the scrapbooking club. And we would do that on Mondays, kind of had a table set aside. Well, we decided that wasn't enough for us. And so we now also meet every Wednesday. In fact, that's a good idea. We all bring our laptops. We usually have a little demo of some skill that someone has worked on and give notes on how to do it, just expanding our knowledge base.
Well, thank you very much, Jane. It was a pleasure having you on the show. And again, you will see on our screen now where you can meet for various groups that we just talked about, the Graphic Special Interest Group and the Digital Scrapbooking Group. Thank you again for coming, Jane.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, today we have Helen Swan and Gloria Young from the Sun City Grand Computer Club's special interest of Compose Yourself. Welcome to the three.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleased to be here.
What exactly is the Compose Yourself special interest group?
Compose Yourself is a group of individuals who enjoy writing. We are writing for the purpose of preserving our memories. Some of us have finished our autobiographies and have had them published. Others are in the process of writing theirs. Others are in the process of writing their memoirs. Some are writing just short stories and have no intentions of having them published. They simply are writing their stories and putting them into a 3-ring binder. One of our members, I think, has done something very interesting. He went around his house and he took pictures of many objects he and his wife had collected over the years. And he did this because he realized his children do not know why many of these things were purchased and collected. After he finished with taking the photos, he wrote a story about each item. And he then put these different stories and photos in a 3-ring binder. So again, it's a unique way to preserve memories of the past.
Well, that's very unique and sounds very interesting. How did this group actually come into existence?
It started in the late 1990s or early 2000s, and it was started by a man named Dana Wall, who's still a member today, and he was an instructor here at Grand. And he and some of his students decided they wanted to continue working together, so they spun off a support group that then became connected to the computer club.
Very good. Now, can anyone join, or do they have to be a part of the computer club too?
Well, they do need to be part of the computer club. However, if someone has an interest in learning more about us, we invite them to come. They can come for up to 3 meetings. And if they feel this is the right group for them, we encourage them to become a computer club member if they are not already so.
Well, fantastic. Now, do I have to be an experienced writer? Do I need to know how to write to join your group?
We have new writers. In fact, we had 2 this week walk in who have not committed anything to paper yet. And then we have many experienced writers. And I think the freshness of the new writers and the experienced writers is a wonderful creative blend that we learn from each other in that process. So, no, you don't have to have ever written.
That sounds very interesting. Now, if I wanted to attend a meeting, what could I really expect during the meeting?
Well, we would like for you to bring paper and pencil. And once you come, you'll be introduced in the group introductions. And we are a group who are primarily lived through the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and on. We are a group from all over the country. And so you would do your introduction, and then we would begin reading. And each person brings something to read, and we read, and then we discuss it. And then let's go on to the end of our meeting.
Well, this sounds exciting. So what are the benefits that I could really expect to get out of attending your meetings and being a part of your group?
Our members love to read the stories that they have written. And it never fails when somebody is reading their story. It sparks a memory and causes other readers or other members to want to write a similar story that has impacted their lives. The other major benefit is that knowing a meeting is coming up, you want to have a story to read. So it motivates you to sit down and write your story before the meeting.
Great. Now, let's say I just joined your group and I was a little hesitant about everything, but everything sounded really good. What kind of support could I get to actually get started and moving forward in the right direction?
There's a lot of support that you get. You get writing tips from different people. You get a lot of ideas when you read your story. This week I wrote about the aging process and how it affects your looks. I got tons of comments from various women and men in the group about what that sparked in them. I wrote those down and reincorporated a lot of those ideas back in my story. You get positive feedback. If you wrote one word the first week, 2 words the second week, they're going to cheer, okay? Because that's progress. That's learning. That's being together. Mm-hmm. And so it's and you get critical feedback if you so desire it.
Great. Now, I know this might be asking a little bit too much, but would you happen to have maybe a short story or something that was created?
I happen to have one. And this was written by one of our members. Her name is Tony. And the name of the story is called The Dove. Standing tall on a medial wall shelf in our living room is a blue figurine about 20 inches tall. It's a faceless figure of a Native American woman holding a small dove in her hands. I bought this piece in Sedona, Arizona. The weekend my best friend's daughter, Cherie, was married at Reardon Mansion in Flagstaff. The wedding festivities were over, and Carolyn and I were driving back to the valley, tired but energized by the lovely event of the day before. "Have you ever been to Sedona?" she asked. "No, I haven't," I responded. "Well, I think we'll make a side trip. You really should see Red Rock Country when you're this close." So we altered our course and soon were skimming along through terrain the likes of which I had never seen before. When we got to the center of the touristy area, we parked and walked. My senses were almost overwhelmed. I wanted to see the red monuments that dot the area landscape, but my eyes were drawn to the windows of shop after shop. In spite of myself, I spotted several figurines similar to the one I now own. I knew we didn't have a lot of time to browse, but I couldn't let the moment go without a closer look at these fascinating pieces. Once inside the shop, I learned they were created by Arizona artist Jack Black. The collection was a study in simple lines and delicate yet rich color. I fell in love with the woman holding the dove. What a perfect reminder of the wedding weekend. Cherie had just become Mrs. Eon Dove.
That's very good. Are you sure that's not written by a professional?
Tony is a very good writer, yes.
Yes, that is very good.
Yeah.
Okay, you've won me over So maybe now you can tell me how often and where you meet, and maybe a lot of our viewers can come experience this as well.
We meet once a month, and we meet the third Monday of each month. We meet over at the Cimarron Center, and the name of the room is Aquafria. Meetings start promptly at 1 o'clock, and they're generally over with by 3 o'clock. And I do want to mention that we do have a brochure that is located in the computer room. So anyone wanting more information is certainly welcome to come in and pick one up off the rack.
Well, thank you, Helen and Gloria. It was a pleasure to have you here on the show, and it's been very informative. And I hope many of our viewers will come and enjoy your special interest group as well.
We'll welcome them.
Thank you very much for having us.
It's our pleasure, thank you. And later we'll be showing you 2 really cool apps that you can use for journal writing. Okay, Rita, let's talk about those 2 cool apps for journal writing and diary.
Well, Jeff, in keeping with the theme of the show and the Compose Yourself group, we found on the internet 2 fabulous apps for keeping a diary or journal writing. They literally help you in every way possible. The name of the 2 apps are Memento for the iPad and Grid Diary, also for the iPad, but it is available on Android tablets as well. What's good about both of these applications is that you get a notification whatever time you choose during the day or in the evening to let you know that you should start composing. With Grid Diary, they actually give you a set of questions to help you go through the day or through some of the information that you'd like to put in your journal or your diary. You can also change the questions, add specific other questions, and it's put on a grid so you can just click on each of those questions and answer them, either by typing or just by dictating onto your iPad. For example, did I perform my best work today? What matters of interest happened to me today? What were the most successful things I did today? Essentially, it gives you themes that you can actually write about. Now, Memento, I'm really stoked on that particular app, because what you can do is that it not only allows you to write about what you've done today, but it archives all your years online in minutes. It connects to all your social networks, web servers, apps that you use, and places that you store your photos. It will grab all your tweets that you've tweeted from the beginning of time, all your Facebook posts, your Facebook photos, your RSS feeds, your Flickr photos, Instagram photos, Foursquare check-ins, any activity that you've done online to help you create a timeline archive that you can start writing about. It even works with Last.fm, YouTube videos, and Vimeo videos. So anything you've done online, it will just condense it into a timeline to give you the ability to write about everything that's happened in your life.
Well, that's pretty cool, Rita. Are we sure we want all this stuff online? Is it safe?
Well, that brings us into another segment that we'll be doing on a show a little bit later on.
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us here at 3 today. We hope you enjoyed this show. We have certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. From Rita and Jeff and everyone else involved, have a great day.